Spring is usually prime time for selling a home, but in today's unpredictable market, you can't just list and hope for the best. Our next guest says small strategic moves can make a big impact. Lanee Prince is the owner of Renew Home Staging and Design, and she has 5 micro strategies for staging a home to stand out and sell. I love that. Micro strategy. Doesn't have to be anything grand, right?
Yeah, no, little things can make a big difference for sure.
And in this climate where it's just kind of constantly shifting as far as the market, sellers, they need as much help as they can get. How much difference would you say can good staging really make in selling their home?
Oh, it can make a huge difference. We've got stats to prove it. Like, you know, we know that staged homes sell for more and they sell faster, but it's kind of fun. We see it all the time in the market, and we have a house that just a couple weeks ago we staged, and it had been listed at the end of last year. They'd had it on the market for several months. They had to lower the list price by $50,000, and they still weren't getting looks at it. They took it off the market, did some things that we recommended, like just a little paint, carpet, switched out a few of the lights, and then we went in and staged it. And within a week, they had 3 competing offers. It sold for over list price. So, you know, we know it's real just because
You've
of
got
the
a
experience that we
plan,
have.
and it sounds like you laid out a couple of them, but let's walk through them. Decluttering, that's huge.
Decluttering is huge. I always tell people, you know, in fact, sometimes when I'm with a homeowner, I will actually take a picture and show them, this is the space that we're looking at, and they will notice. I'm like, what do you notice in this picture? And when there's a lot of little things and a lot of, you know, small things, that people's eyes definitely go to that. And so we want to make sure that we're directing the attention where we want it to be with a staged home.
Yeah, and then you also have some sellers, they might want to keep some of their personal items in there as far as like pictures, mementos, but you're saying that could actually turn a seller off. Why is that?
It absolutely can. Like, we want to do everything that we can to have the potential buyer be able to imagine themselves in the home. You're definitely taking it from being my home to the next person's home, right? So as much as we can do to depersonalize and just really make it a blank slate, very generic. Like, think of a model home. Whenever you know, a builder is selling a model home, it's not personalized, right? It's there, very generic for anyone to be able to imagine themselves in that space.
And you say those little things count too. What are some quick, inexpensive things that people can do that can really just give it that spark?
Yeah, definitely little things make a big difference. Even lighting, like you said, decluttering is huge. You know, making sure all your light bulbs are the same color. Making sure that a space is clean and inviting, and when you walk into it, you're able to, you know, walk around it and really enjoy it, and it's feeling welcoming. We're actually trying to solicit an emotional response from a potential buyer. So just making sure that it's something that somebody's going to enjoy.
Yeah, and then also seeing it on, you know, like on photos where you talked about the furniture and the placement, and then just how it's presented in photo.
Right. Yeah, I mean, every listing starts with being out there for photos, you know, people can look at the photos online. And so you definitely, that's your first invitation for people to be interested in your home. You want to make sure that those photos not only look beautiful, but they look welcoming and inviting, and you got to get people in the house if they're going to buy it, right?
That's the draw right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so for someone that's sitting at home right now and they're loving your ideas, maybe they're wanting to try it, but they might feel a little overwhelmed. So we talk about micro-strategy. What was something that you would suggest would be like the #1 thing that they can do today that's pretty simple, doesn't require a whole lot? We talked about some good ones, but I guess one to like really get people like, to, you know, get them amped and ready to go.
I mean, if you're selling your house, I definitely think that reaching out to a professional is not a bad thing, even if it's just a consultation. Like, maybe you're thinking staging isn't necessarily necessary, but you know, you have a real estate agent that you're most likely soliciting the help of, and they can definitely look at your space with a fresh set of eyes and let you know, these are the few little things that I think can make a really big difference. All
right, where can we find you to get some more information and for that consultation?
Oh, we're here local in Utah. You can see us on Instagram. It's just renew.home_. And then if you want to look at our website, we actually have some tips and some before and afters on there, so that's also helpful. And that is just renewhomeutah.com.
All right, so great meeting you. Thanks so much for all those ideas.
Of course, thank you.